Hellos, welcome back to Journeys in Time and welcome if you are new. So I am bringing you installment 7 of the Get Your Chic On event that is running over at the Junk Journal Trading Post with Rachel Bella Crafts. Woo, got that out. And what are we doing today? Oh, I didn't like that. We are working with two kits. We are working with my newest kit that's out, Simple Pleasures, and we are also working with Rachel's newest kit. I think it's her newest one. Get Your Chic On. Absolutely stunning. Just look at this page, I love it. But what are we going to be making? So I have two sheets here, as you can see. That's because I'm going to be making two versions of this piece. We are making a trifold journal insert, for want of a better word, and it is a very, very simple make, and it's going to be a lot of fun decorating it up and things like that. Okay, so what do we do? This is kind of a one sheet wonder type make as well. This sheet is double-sided, this one is not, so we're going to get to see the juxtaposition of that as well, how they look when one is backed and one isn't. We'll get to see kind of the effect of that. Okay, so first things first, we are going to fold our sheets in thirds. I have mine slightly just kind of folded just because I was checking some things out. I don't have measurements or anything like that because all we're really doing is folding it in such a way that our outside piece here, this is going to be on the top of the fold, and that should be slightly shorter than this fold here. Okay, do you see what I mean? It should stop slightly shorter. Now if you do it and in such a way that your folds don't work out, for instance, let's say this comes all the ways over and ends up overlapping, you can just cut a bit off. That's not a big deal. But I'm just doing it as a one sheet kind of make. There. Just double check. My fold isn't straight here, so I need to straighten that. Ooh. Silly me. Now we're right. Okay. Now I could bring that all the ways over there, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave like a millimetre or two for the hinges to, or the flaps to work properly and not just get caught and things like that. Just a millimetre or so. I'll show you there now in 1 second. So it's actually a little bit more than a millimetre it ended up being, but that's fine. So it's about a ½ centimetre, I'd say, of a gap there. I'm just going to get my bona folder, crease those down properly. Annoying myself trying to get them creased properly. Okay, so that's that one. I'm going to do the very same thing on this sheet. This has a beautiful image on it. I just want to make sure it's the right way up. Yeah. Okay, so in this instance it doesn't really make a difference which one comes on top. It's kind of the same image. But when I'm right-handed, I prefer to flip things this way for some reason. So I'm going to do it the same as this one. So as you can see, I'm folding these quite arbitrarily, not measuring anything. They're going to end up being different sizes. Actually, they're not. They ended up being the exact same. I thought they'd end up being totally different sizes. Oh my goodness. Didn't even know how that happened because like there's a bigger gap here than there is here. But anyway, not to worry. Okay, so the next thing we need to do, and I'm going to do it on this one first because we have a lady here, we don't want to cut off her head, okay? So this is the way I want it to be at the end, but because of that lady's head, I'm just putting her on the front for now. And I'm going to fold this back in such a way that I'm not cutting off her head there, okay? So I'm just going to give that a fold. And I'm going to open it up. And we have 1, 2, 3 square or rectangles really at the top of the page here, okay? So I'm just going to fold this down and give it a really good crease just for myself. And I'm going to crease it back the other way as well, like so. Just so that those creases are very apparent for me. And I'm going to do the same with these two pieces here, there and here. Okay, so the next thing we need to do, we need to take off these two outside rectangles. We're leaving the center one in place. We're taking off the two outside ones. Now, normally we would do our miters here, and you know what? I am actually going to do that. I'm going to miter our corner here, right down to that point where the creases are. So I just took it in by about, it's actually about a ½ inch, and in towards the center of this panel, ½ inch, and then down towards that crease where the lines intersect. Okay, and I'm going to, I'm not folding this, I'm just bringing it across so that I can mirror that cut. Okay, there are many ways to get this mirroring done, but this is just the way I'm doing it today. Just gonna snip there, and that gives me my measurement, and if I go down to that crease where the lines intersect, that should give me the exact same angle. Okay, there we go. So going to cut off this piece, I'm going to cut off this piece, and this is what we're left with. So what we're going to end up doing is this. Okay, and that's what we will be working with. Now, as I'm folding down the flap here, I can feel it catching very slightly here. So I am going to just take a very tiny sliver across the top of this one and across the top of the other side. I got shtick for cutting off the lady's head the last time, so I'm not doing it this time. Okay, so that feels much better now. Okay. Now, with these pieces, we are keeping these pieces, we are going to use these, okay? So, we are going to cut off that little triangle that we cut off of the flap. We're going to cut that off, straight down. We're not making any miters or anything in these ones. Just cutting it straight down, like so. And the same on the other one. And we are going to use these as pockets on the piece. So, let's get that one glued down. Now, as I'm gluing down, I'm making sure that it's not impeding the fold. So I pulled it across just a tiny bit. It really is just a millimetre. So you can see there's an extra millimetre back here. So I'll just trim that off. But just when you're putting yours down, you can either trim a millimetre off beforehand or just do it the same way I did and trim it afterwards. So the same on the other side. We're going to use this as our pocket on the other side. And again, I think I'm going to use this side because it's just got a little bit of interest on it. Either or would look good, but I think I'm going to use this side just for that, like I said, added interest. So let's get that down. And that is what we have right now. Okay, so let's go and get the exact same thing done on the other one. We have our folds done this way. I'm going to fold it down and get those pieces cut off. Like I said, the exact same thing. Fold it like this, cut these two pieces off and glue them down as pockets. Now, with this one, before I glue down these pockets, I may look at possibly decorating this white beforehand, okay? But I'm going to get this part done first anyway. Okay, so we have our pocket pieces cut for this. Now, what do I want to do in here? Do I want to do anything in here? I'm just wondering. Now, I do have those paints that I could go messing with again, and I have no problem with that. It would tie in nicely with all the ones I've done. But I do also have my oxides, and I was watching Rachel the other day messing with her oxides, and I really want to play with my oxides. So I'm going to do some oxide inking on this. Let me get those out of the way so that nothing gets... Now, I'm taking a risk here doing this because we're working with an inkjet printed paper and we're going to be putting lots of water down. But nothing ventured, nothing gained, eh? So I'm going to do a quick... smooching, smooch, and let it dry, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I went ahead and I got this all inked up, and I put it on some books to dry. Now I did go back in with some antique linen because I felt that it didn't really work with the background on this page to have it white. But I have anyway since decided that I'm going to put some paneling on this as well. Okay, so I pulled out a few bits and pieces that I want to use. So let's get that done before we get our pockets down. I'm going to show you the pieces that I want to use, and I will glue these on off camera, okay, just for the sake of the length of the video. So I'm going to use these tags. I'm going to put 2 of Rachel's beautiful tags on either side. I'm going to cut them so that there is a space up here. So like for instance, I'm going to cut it so that it will look like that. So it's a panel rather than full coverage. Okay, so you see this up here? And then the pocket is going to go over at the bottom, so it doesn't really matter what the bottom is doing. But yeah, so I'm going to get those 2 tags on there, and then this tag from the Simple Pleasures kit, I'm going to put this lady in the center in much the same way. There's a gap at either side, and I'm going to have it with a little, almost like a frame around them, okay? The top part I'm not going to touch just yet because I'm going to want to put a closure on this, and I know I'm going to want to put a closure on it, so I'm going to leave that till last. Another thing that I might do, I might ink the edges of these with the, I can never remember the name of these things, with the Victorian Velvet, okay? And I will be putting thumb notches into my pockets as well. I forgot to do them on the other one. I might see if I can get my circle punch in there to give them the notches as well, but we'll see. So I will be putting thumb notches in these as well. So I'll go and get all of that done, and then I'll come back to you guys, okay? Okay, so we have that done. We have our panels in. One thing I did forget was to ink around these edges, but that's okay. I inked around the pockets, put in my thumb notches, put in my thumb notches on this one, and now we get to decorate and stuff them. Hooray! Okay, which one do I want to start with? I'm going to start with this one. I have pulled out a few bits and pieces that I thought might work. And I just want to have a look at some of the embellishment pieces that we made. Now, this is actually too big for this pocket, but I really like that there. Doesn't have to be that one. Let's try auditioning a few of these. That's a long one. That's not going to work on there. We have this one with the little tuck. Ah, so sweet. And it's going to peek out the bottom, and it's going to peek up out the top of the pocket if I use these. But I'm totally okay with that. I think it looks really interesting. What else have we? We have this one. That's so pretty. Alright. I'm going to go with this one, but I'm going to add something to it. Don't know why. I just feel like it's not complete. It was fine when I was doing it, but right now I feel like it's not complete. Could put a label. That would be perfect. Perfect. Okay. So we're going to get this label cut out and put down there, I think. I've been seeing all of the photographs on the Facebook group, guys. Oh my goodness, you guys are doing just some stunning, stunning pieces, I have to say. Absolutely fabulous. I do have to admit I'm slightly behind with Rachel's videos, so I really need to catch up. But I'm looking forward to kind of binge watching one of the days, so yeah, that's all good. It's always good to have a morning full of Rachel, isn't it? Okay, so we'll get this down here. Yeah, I think that just finishes that off lovely. Just needed tying together for some reason. Okay, so now we can get this piece stuck down. Do I want to put something else kind of behind it? I think I might. Okay, I think I'm going to go with that little arrangement. I did go ahead and ink my pockets as well. Just I felt they were blending too much into the background. Just getting the edges of these inked up. And we'll get these in place. What do you guys think? Is that okay? And I'm going to have this lace cut off coming down the side as well. Okay, I've just realised that if I put this here, tilted like this with this edge, we're not going to be able to close our flap here, so I'd have to cut it, and I'm just wondering, do I want to do that? I think it'll be fine. Okay, let's get some glue on. Okay, get these pieces out of the way so I'm not gluing everything together. That would be like something I would do. Oh, and I just realised I can't glue it up here either. Ah, I'm so silly. Oh no. See guys, everybody makes these silly mistakes. Everybody. Okay, so that's what we've got. We need to cut off the side of this. I really hope this works out. But I guess we shall see. Oh yeah, I think that looks totally cool. Awesome. Okie dokie. Now, let's figure out, before we go any further, let's make sure I should close it. Oh look, I possibly would have gotten away with it. I should have checked that. Ah! Silly me. But anyway, it still looks pretty cool. So, let's figure out what I want to put in that bucket. Now, I have this beautiful, beautiful image. I love this image. I think she's fabulous. So I might put her in there. I'm going to back around to something. But I want something taller as well. If I just trim a piece off the bottom. Okay, so let's just leave that in there for now. And we'll move on. So, what am I going to do here? Am I going to do a notebook, or am I going to just leave it as journaling space? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to make another notebook, and I'm going to use some of Rachel's lovely paper, because this really lends itself to writing, so, you know. Now, one thing I do want is torn edges on this. Not necessarily all over the place torn like the other one was, but I do want to rough tear it with this rather than have it cut. So hard to take a tiny piece off the edge, so I'm actually going to go further. I'm going to go further in and just take a piece off that edge. So if I now take this, fold it there, of course we could do this the other way too, have them folding this way. Let's just play and see. This one is just gorgeous. Look at that rose. Oh, so beautiful. Or will I just have a straight up notebook? Okay, I think I'm going to cut them and make a straight up notebook, simply because, or even a waterfall notebook, simply because of the bulk. Because this is thicker paper, I want to keep the bulk to a minimum. So, let's tear these off. I'm going to do it waterfall style anyway. Now, we could still actually use these, we'll see. We'll see, we'll see. And now, I'm trying to fit this piece. I want to keep the full image, if possible. I don't want to lose any of that. I mean, it's just so pretty. So pretty. So I'm going to tear it here. Like so. I promise this isn't as complicated as it looks, guys. It's just because I'm undecided as to what I actually want to do here. I didn't plan it beforehand. But it's relatively easy. So there we have a little waterfall notebook. Now, like I said, we could, because these are shorter again, we could actually add these if we wanted to. I say let's go for it. It is quite bulky, but in the grand scheme of things, does that really matter? No. I'm going to go and sew these together, and then I'm going to glue them into this because I don't want the stitch line on the back of this. I'll be right back to you guys. Okay, so we have our little notebook all sewn together. You can see I actually had done a different stitch on this, but the bobbin had run out without me realising. But I didn't want to go back and do the same stitch again because if it missed the holes it would have just chewed up the paper. So I just did a straight stitch on it. We could end up putting some lace or something across the top of this anyway, so I'm not going to worry about it. And even if we don't, it still looks good. So, get our glue on. Keeping it slightly down from our crease up here, just slightly, just enough that there's a little lip here at the end as well. Nothing too complicated at all. And if you don't have a sewing machine and you want to do this, you can just glue your papers into place. Just put a line of glue across each of the papers and glue them one on top of the other. Nothing at all wrong with that. Okay, so we have a notebook. Awesome sauce. And for the other side, we have these beautiful roses already in place. Now, just looking at this, I think I might want something across the top. Well, look, wouldn't that be pretty, dangling down? Ooh. I think I might do that, just as a little decor, you know. That's so cute. So cute. And it's something a little different. Yeah, very cute. Okay, so I'm going to move on to this side. Let's see what we have for over here. Now we do have, oh look, oh my goodness. How would that look from the other side? I learned my lesson on this side, didn't I? So this is going to the inside, this is going to the outside. So if I position this here, certainly looks interesting, doesn't it? I don't know, let's explore some other options. Quite like our little girly here. And again, I feel like I need something coming out from behind to break that kind of solid colour here. Doesn't have to be a whole lot, just a tiny piece would do, I think. Okay, so pulled out a couple of pieces of lace. Let's see, does this work for me? Yep, I think I like that. Okay, let's get our glue down. Like so. I'm loving those, and I'm loving that we're using our embellishment pieces that we made. Okay, so what do we want in this pocket? Now I'm not going to finish these tags up on camera. It'll basically be just inking, maybe adding a tiny bit of lace, but I won't be adding a whole lot to them. So I'll let you guys do whatever you want to do with your tags and whatever inserts you want to put in these. And close it up. And there we have that. Now, I want to put a closure on this. And I am leaving this, the back of it, blank because I would possibly glue this in to a junk journal. It may go into a pocket, I don't know yet. So I'm not going to commit myself at the moment, okay? So for this, all I'm doing is just a policy style closure. Now, there are several ways you could do a closure on this. You could put something here, like one of the butterflies. That might actually be kind of cute. Put one of the butterflies here if they were on heavier paper and just tuck it in behind it. We have one of Rachel's beautiful circles here. That would work in there as well. Let's see. Would one of our other pieces work? Oh, that might be kind of cute as well. Possibilities. I hadn't thought of this. and it can just be tucked in behind. Might just do that, guys. Not sure about that part now. I think a straight edge doily piece might work there. Let me grab one. Or maybe actually a piece of this very large doily. I mean, how huge is that? I don't even know how wide these are. These are, 13 inches wide. 13 and a half inches wide. They're huge, but that might work here. Thinking to kind of bring it down at a slant like so. Maybe this way. I like it. I like it. Yes. Gonna do that. I'm gonna have it. Yeah. Okay, plan. We have a plan. We have the plan. Not doing anything with her. I don't think she needs anything. She's a nice surprise when you open it up. So yeah, let's get on with this. I have some sticker backing paper. Just going to, this is contact paper, this one. But any kind of paper that stickers come on, you can use it for things like this, just smoothing over glued areas without getting messy or pulling things up, things like that. Okay, I'm going to trim off the pieces. Oh, I'm so glad I'm using those large doilies. I've kind of had them in my stash for a while and not really had any ideas about what to do with them. I hadn't really thought about it either, mind you, but it feels good to be using them. Okay. Ugh, I'm confusing myself now. I'm talking about a closure and like I have my closure already decided. It's not going to be the policy closure. I mean, hello, wiki wiki. So we want to glue this into place just here. And I'm going to glue it about halfway, which would be standard for a closure like this. Don't want to make it too hard to get things in and out, you know, or to get the flap in and out. So having these pieces pre-made made decorating this one really, really easy, which is awesome. Just like that. Love it. Yep, I don't think it actually even needs any more than that, really. I mean, we could put something across here, like we could double up on the doily kind of lacy feel and put some of this on here as well. Not too bothered by that, to be honest. It's, yeah, it would be nice, but yeah. Could put some butterflies. Nope. One of Rachel's butterflies. That might be cute. Okay, I like that one. We need some inking on the edge of this, so definitely. What do we think? Do we like? I like, which is the main thing, I guess. Yeah, let's get that down. There we go. Awesome sauce. Awesome. Put that in there. That keeps it closed. Flip it up. Nicely decorated. And we have all those goodies inside. I love it. Okay, so next one. I'm going to fly through the decorating on this one. And the stuffing. I will probably put this on fast forward for you guys to watch. So I have gone ahead and I have done my decorating. This is actually the following day, guys, just so you know. I had to go and get dinner and all that sort of stuff. You know, you get it. Okay, so I've added a few extra bits and pieces onto this one as well. So I'll show you this one first. So I added, did I have the butterfly on? Not sure. I have the butterfly on there. I added some bling down there. We have our closure. And on the inside, I have added some lace across the top of this side. And I have added butterfly layered up with lace on this side, okay? Just to add something in the background there. So that is that one. I've also added some the teapot up here, just to kind of give a cover for the notebook as such, and some of this lace. I love that this is hanging down like this. I think it looks so pretty. So that is that one. Awesome, awesome. Very happy with how that one turned out. And I'm loving the closure. Great way to use one of those pieces from our snippet strip. Fabulous. Okay, so then we have this one. So I have put a wrap tie on it, policy style, and just use some lace to do that. Have a pretty pink thread in here. So pretty. I have used another piece from our snippets. I have used that down the side here. And when we open it, we have some of that dangly lace again, and just one of the flowers from Rachel's kit. This is also, I've put a piece of that waxed paper that had been embossed. I've just gave it a layer just to give it some extra texture and just a little something else. I've covered the flap, so hiding my bride legs with this piece here. And on the inside, oh, we're after getting stuck. On the inside, I just added our panels here. I put a piece of lace across the corner here just for a little bit of extra texture. Down here, I have done an inset butterfly. The butterfly is cut from a different paper, and it's inset into a piece of music paper that I cut the same butterfly from. And this is just a piece of decoration that came from one of the butterflies that I die cut for the snippet strip that we did last week. Was that last week? I'm sure it was. Okay, so I'm using kind of bits and pieces that I have on my desk basically. So that is that. And I've also added a piece of lace down here. And on this side we have another just piece of lace up here just to give some texture. This beautiful image does everything it needs to. I didn't need to add anything else there. And I've added one of the images from the kit. That's from the Simple Pleasures kit. Another piece of that inset from the butterfly there. And there's something stuck on there. I don't know what that is. And two of these butterflies that came from that cupcake liner that I used. This is a piece of doily. And I have put a pocket in here and just added one of our tags. All my little cut-offs are still there. And I've added a fussy cut flower down here, piece of lace, and a piece of a ticket up here. And that is that one. I love how that turned out as well. And on the back of this one, I have put that notebook that we made from that snippet strip as well. Okay? So it's all going on in this one. So these are they're fairly versatile. I mean, you can choose yourself what you want to put into the center pieces. You can do something different with your flap. Maybe have a tiny tuck up here or something. So very versatile piece. You can choose to put pockets on these sides as well. Entirely up to you. You can choose to leave the back free. You can put a pocket on the back, or you can do what I did, put a notebook on the back. You can put a notebook in the center. Lots and lots of different ways to kind of make these your own, okay? So for the challenge for this week, for the Get Your Chic On event over at the Junk Journal Trading Post with Rachel and Bella Crafts, your challenge is to make a trifold junk journal insert. Okay, so basically one of these pieces, done whatever way, whatever format you want, whether you want pockets or envelopes or notebooks or whatever you want in it, but just the trifold piece with the flap. Okay, so that is it from me for today, guys. Really enjoyed these. Love how they turned out, and I'm so in love with that blingy piece up there. So girly. Yeah, so that's it for me for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoy making them. Have fun with them. And I will talk to you all very, very soon in the next video. Bye.